baker spent 4 years chasing a single customer. He called the man's hotel every week. He attended the events the man attended. He even rented a room in the hotel just to stay close and win the account. 4 years, nothing, no deal, no breakthrough, no progress. Then one day the baker said a single sentence about something that had absolutely nothing to do with bread. Within days, the order he'd been chasing for years was finally his. The sentence cost him nothing, and the principle behind it can help you influence almost anyone. Eventually, the baker learned one important detail about the hotel manager. The man was deeply involved in a national association and was proud of his leadership role within it. The next time they met, the baker didn't mention bread. He didn't discuss price. He didn't talk business. Instead, he asked about the association. The manager immediately came alive. He spoke with enthusiasm. He shared stories. He explained its mission. He talked and talked. And a few days later, the baker got the order. The lesson is simple. You don't open people through your door. You open them through theirs. And before this video ends, you'll see how one man received far more than he asked for simply by admiring a framed piece of paper hanging on a wall. Here's what most people do wrong. When we want something from someone, we talk about why we want it, our idea, our product, our opportunity, our problem. Meanwhile, the other person listens politely while wondering why they should care, because we're speaking a language that matters to us, not to them. But every person you meet is already interested in something, their family, their work, their goals, their hobbies, their passions, the subjects they could discuss for hours without getting tired. Find that subject and you found the doorway. Talk about it and they'll often open it themselves. There was once a man who needed financial support for a trip involving a group of boys. He had heard about a wealthy businessman who had written an enormous check years earlier and proudly displayed the canceled check in a frame on his wall. When they met, the man didn't immediately ask for money. He didn't start with his request. Instead, he said he'd never met anyone who had written such a remarkable check and asked if he could see it. The businessman was delighted. He showed off the framed check. He explained the story behind it. He shared details. He relived the moment. And by the end of the conversation, he gave far more than the visitor had originally planned to request. Not because he was pressured, not because he was persuaded, because someone took genuine interest in something that mattered to him. Even great leaders understood this principle. Before meeting important visitors, one president would spend hours learning about the subjects those guests cared about most. He wanted to walk into the room already speaking their language. He understood that the quickest path to connection is through another person's interests. An hour spent learning about someone else's passion often creates more goodwill than hours spent talking about your own. So the lesson seems obvious. Ask people about what interests them. But this is where most people make a mistake. They pretend. They ask the question only to get through it. They treat another person's passion like a checkpoint on the road to their sales pitch, and people can feel that immediately. The interest has to be genuine. For a few moments, you have to care more about understanding them than about getting what you want. Ironically, that's often the exact moment you're most likely to get it. And here's the deeper rule underneath all of this. Talking about yourself is one of the slowest ways to earn someone's attention. Talking about what they care about is one of the fastest. When you make the conversation about their world, you stop being another person who wants something from them. You become someone who understands them. The baker spent 4 years trying to bring that customer through his own door. He walked through the other man's door in a single conversation. So before you ask for anything, ask yourself one question. What does this person care about most? And have I spent even 1 minute talking about it?